Thank you very much, Jacob. No, we're good. I think we have plenty of mics. You moved it here. No, you're looking for the one where they put there.
I'm pretty sure we all. Okay, thank you.
Let's have it now. Did you move Heather over here?
Who just moved?
Well, I moved people out and in.
So you moved Heather here?
Heather can be there.
Oh.
She's not quite a speak. I think we were just looking for microphones.
Oh, I have extra. I just didn't. But we have one for the audience in case. Yeah, but Heather, why don't you want to speak? I'll do this.
That one?
Yeah. Right there. Okay.
So I think it's gonna be right here.
Yeah, and I don't think anybody likes the car.
Okay, yes.
But there's plenty of
Thank you, Jacob. I'll let you know.
and we've already had more than added. That's a good one. So we did it today. We're gonna do it after the time. Ordering
Thank you. Okay. I'll text you if I need you.
So Tom,
Yeah.
what are you coming?
You told me I sounded like that. That's my guy next to it.
Just watch the boards, guys.
So I did talk to Sarah this morning, and she said, "We're up here, she's working." She went up here real quick.
Could you make, you know how I send it out? Usually all acknowledge. So I don't know.
I got the message. I didn't find it. I'm glad you said that, because I did not find it.
You're right there, Ellen.
It's in the chain. Okay.
Right.
And also, I know Ally
I don't know the cost.
Yeah, sure.
$1. Yeah. No, she's just popped her head over here.
Oh.
She's like, really young, she's coming out. I was really told it's supposed to be in the evening.
I saw it come out.
You saw it? Okay, good.
I did on
Parents
Parents
Square.
I think I just.
Did it go out on Facebook?
Like the Parents Square and Facebook, but
We have to have a new link.
and it was not wanting to post, but it sounds like I got it.
Yes.
Okay, so you went through it on the
Parents
website.
Square, okay, you did.
I already called
And on
Shannon.
Facebook.
Is it on Facebook?
I feel like it is unless somebody tells me.
What?
And I called Shannon and told her to tell her mother-in-law. So that was the only one I did.
Sorry.
I do not see the new link on Facebook. I see it
Not?
on Parents Square. I do
Oh.
not see it on Facebook.
All right, let me take a look.
The last one was a day ago.
Yeah, then that's the old one.
That's the old one.
Nope, it's attached to the bottom of that.
To the bottom.
Is that?
You can't make a new one so people see it.
That's the,
I don't think that's, I think you gotta make it wholly closed.
I just reshared it. That's the link, that's the new link, because I'm confident, because otherwise I wouldn't show that.
Okay, so just now I got it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, because I looked when I was waiting for you and I'm like,
Okay.
And my computer was strange, that's what I was on.
Oh, all right, I think we have it. So I think that we can go ahead and start and add the bonus in a few minutes. How about that? Okay.
The order of the question.
Pledging
To the flag of the United States of America, and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Agenda changes. I would like to ask for an executive session after our meeting today to discuss personnel hiring. There will be no action, so we just have a discussion. So items for discussion today is about the proposal for the girls soccer merger with North Warren Central School. We can have a discussion amongst our board members, and then I know that there's been a request for our girls soccer coach and for an AD, and I see that, I'm assuming transportation is representing that, Head of Transportation would like to have a comment.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you'll just wait, let's have, board discussion first, and then we'll move to you guys, and we'll move back.
How many girls? Oh, God.
Okay,
How many
so, well,
girls do you have?
let's let Mike
Oh,
give you
sorry.
some history, where we are. We've had this discussion over the past
Yeah,
at least 2 board meetings where
Yeah.
this has been brought up and discussed, maybe
Right.
even 3.
right.
So Mike, will you
Yeah,
give us a little history so everybody's on the same page?
So North Warren came to us, I want to say 2 years ago, actually, asking us if we would consider a possible merger with their soccer program. They felt that we were a logical fit due to the fact that we are already merged with cross-country, um, Nordic, and now tennis for this year. Um, so at that point in time, 2 years ago. It didn't move forward, partially because we were already in the talks of a school merger and the confusion of talking about an additional sports merger and the Minerva Johns school merger. It just was felt that maybe that wasn't the appropriate time to look at an additional sports merger. Play out a full year, and our varsity and our modified, and especially our varsity, has struggled with numbers in girls soccer. So the conversation came up again. I think I approached everyone in the fall, and then it really became conversation in the last few board meetings because um, they need to know for the Adirondack League. Um, I'm going to say within like a week from today, because I think I said the last time, if they don't make a decision to merge with us and we have it in board minutes, then if they don't let the Adirondack League know, then they won't be put on the Adirondack League schedule. They'll still be able to play, but they'll have to find all their own games. On the flip side, if they decide that, or we all decide that we are going to merge, then they would be put in our league, obviously. Well, I don't know if that's obvious, but we're looking at staying within our league, not the Adirondack League. I know North Warren has voted on it, and Minerva has voted on it, and they are reviewing it with the merger. I guess I'll start there if there's questions.
Uh, our varsity girls are struggling, and so what would that give us total numbers if we put all 3 together?
Okay. I did send out some paperwork on that, Tom.
Can we,
I'm wondering if Alex, because I also, guess I should also say, in this process, I know there's been conversations between all 3 ADs. There's been conversation, I know, with transportation. Um, I'll say I thought our transportation was included, but I know Minerva and their transportation have looked at it. Matter of fact, they even gave us a mock schedule, and they used last year's schedule to like do up a schedule for next year. But I will say, and I think I've been pretty forthcoming with this all along,
Yeah.
that it only takes one driver in any of the situations to call in sick or something, and then there will be a transportation, or there could be a transportation issue. I don't think any of the 3 schools have an abundance of drivers or substitutes. So,
when, with the data that you sent out to us, it talks about team 1 and team 2.
with the modified,
Yes.
I'm almost more comfortable when you get that much into those conversations that we really do look at the ADs, because I know they've had conversations on that.
What is the question regarding?
So it is saying team 1 and team 2. Does that mean in the modified we'll have 2 teams?
So the modified team would be split in that sense, we'll have almost 30 plus girls playing in the program. So allowing them to have, they would still be able to practice together. And then we would split the schedule or find extra teams to split the teams to have them all play, where it's not allowing coaches to try to get into the modified level that we need to play every game.
Yes.
So allow to split the numbers into a smaller size, so to say, would be more conducive to getting everybody to play in every game that they show up. and allowing.
And Allison, just as a history, we did something similar to that a few years back with softball.
Yeah.
And then when they got to varsity, those large numbers,
We
what
kind of filtered out a little bit, like the ninth graders moved up, the fifth graders moved up, and then the size was manageable. So we have done that in the past here, where it worked out. I think there was a question about our varsity numbers. I think we're looking at approximately 18 varsity players between all three schools. The modified numbers are high, the projected numbers, because the graders all play, the players do play. And sometimes it all do filter out, but I think we will have a large number of modified. So we thought instead of trying to do a modified JV and varsity, just do a double modified and varsity to start out.
My one concern about two teams is that you don't stack one team.
No, we wanted to split it up evenly.
That's how many they.
We
Okay.
want the stronger players to help out the weaker, younger players, so
Right.
it would be taken into consideration, families, we wouldn't split up siblings, we wouldn't, those types of things.
Yeah. And it might help with transportation too, if you can work with kids that not only live together, but maybe in the same area,
Yeah. Yep.
so it make it a little easier.
Yeah, and that conversation, again, I think once you have a better idea of what the plan will be. you can,
Yeah. Okay.
Allison, can I ask you a question? And just thought of this, so I'll be honest with you. I know the rule is that if a modified kid plays JV, they can't transfer back down to modified. They have to either be on JV or varsity. My understanding on the opposite side is a varsity can play JV and varsity and kind of go back and forth. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Would there be,
That's new, isn't it?
No, I think that's always,
I thought once you went up to varsity, you were up to
I think
varsity.
JV and varsity, because we used to do it in field hockey all the time.
I think they'd like the JV teams to be 10, 11 grade, but they do make exceptions and have to
Yes.
join the leagues for.
We definitely did that. Okay. So I guess with that thought, is there any possibility that we start the year off and maybe toward the end of the season, the last 3-4 games, take some of those modified players and find some JV games and, play some JV games?
We would have to look into the logistics of that, because I think if we will want to study the season is done, we can't move out.
Can I ask, how many kids do you have at JCS that are modified? How many players would we have just to bounce for you? 16?
For modified?
That's including freshmen who don't move up.
So the problem that we see right now is that we are only looking at 10 varsity players in training. And there's a large group of ninth graders, we've been talking to different coaches. We feel that this modified players continue to go out before they're actually ready, which is not really help us build the program. We're trying to look down the road of what the best thing would be for us as a program. I think, if even if we just pull up 2, that's only going to be 12 players, and we know we're going to have to so I think we're going to end up putting down a lot on the first season if we don't pull up.
On our coach, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then, the modified as being enough for in here as opposed to merge. It's like the varsity.
Yeah.
Joe, if you don't mind, as a coach, you've been kind of working with, I'm going to say, smaller numbers over the last couple of years. What have you seen? What have you?
Well, I think this is a conversation. One of the things that, that the caution, and I like a lot of that happening right now is, I have 4 ninth graders that really only one of them could have pulled off because of the way skill they showed, and so we, after they intentionally quit for us, there's some training work, but my biggest concern is that really all 4 of them, defensively, this was a strong player, but all 4 of them So being able to keep my kids down and fill that program, fill that starting, fill that county, set those higher expectations. It's hard, you know, but I've got numbers that really count. We have numbers that sustain, we use that numbers that we use, or these 80s, or these seconds. The thing is really strong.
So let me ask you, Joe, in the last couple of years, do you feel you did have the numbers? Okay, so can you talk a little bit about
I
that?
have just, injuries that kids are sustaining from gym class, from just daily, there were kids that were playing, other sports, outside of school, they're sustaining injuries from that. It's just, sometimes it's the students all of a sudden, and they get hit by a ball, and all of a sudden, you gotta work with that concussion protocol, which is very important. It's just, you go in front of one, oh, we got 16 kids all set down. But we're playing against schools that come in with 20 kids, 22 kids, 18 kids. That's hard. That's hard. And we're playing, we even had a team play against where they were that good, they played down. And that's still. That's. And they're able to outrun us. Out there. So, but yeah, our injuries are something injuries that happen. I would maybe that's just you can't do that with this high. Having the numbers and that.
So you've been the varsity coach for the last, help me. And would you say, have you had enough numbers for, not to play, but enough numbers to go out and be competitive with other teams?
Do any other board members have any comments at this moment?
I just really wanted to do it. You just kind of say that, like, that's when you're taking them to town. If I'm hearing that this is what you want, that's all I'm going to do. Because this is, I've heard parents have a lot of concerns with travel. So I'm assuming that that's what we're going to do on it. But thank you for coming and speaking.
My question is exactly that expectation. It's been an issue for years. You know, Minerva or John for sports program. So throwing a third school within a mix. How long you don't do, I know Tom, you spoke to that just briefly last week. How are we dealing with that?
Okay, so Brandon, you have, you're representing your transportation. Can you talk to us about your thoughts?
Well, I know, so the schedule that was put, the schedule that we put out, had no transportation. I talked to the other transportation in Maryland, I also talked to Ellen at Northbourne. They had no idea about it. We only had a number from. Yes, it might be from last year's number or time, but we got not. We have been trying to get together to have a discussion on the whole thing ourselves, because we feel like we're hanging in the dark. And this past year, moving forward, we are struggling to put the sports runs together, because it's right at a time in the afternoon, we don't have that extra driver. And then to add a third school into it, I'm not entirely sure how we're going to pull that off yet. Or at all, but that's the discussion that we're trying to figure out. Because right now, our school is like one of the only schools that provide an earlier bus. So we provide the 250 bus, and they're the later bus, because their drivers are already on the bus. So they don't have anybody to come over early. Northbourne is in the same boat where they don't have anybody to come over earlier. Usually when they get to practices or cross country, they're later after their bus on the side. So to filling the gaps there, I'm not really sure what we're doing. And then if you're talking about possibly having two teams last night, I don't know how that is, are they playing on the same place?
Yeah.
They would play the same way, they would alternate which team, so modified team one plays the 14th team for the second, and modified team two plays the first, second, and second. So it would just be the same one modified team going to varsity, it just wouldn't be all third, it would be 16 for everybody else. That's what it's sort of sharing the games, it's not like we're setting 3 different teams to one. The normal 2 teams that we would set.
And Aaron and Allison, would you guys foresee, I'm going to be jumping in, but would you foresee 2 modified coaches? And I guess I'm going to say, I don't think it'd be a bad idea, because what I do not want to happen is for that other modified team that's not playing, that they're not at least practicing and doing something. So if we're looking to build, then I would recommend we build. And you
So,
don't have
one modified team playing the other modified team would be practicing.
that would be my recommendation if we're truly looking to build a program.
When you were coming up with the transportation schedule that you were talking about, how did you come up with that information?
That was given to us by Minerva, and I'm looking at the ADs. I think we were all told that that was Joe and their ADs sitting down together and putting it together.
They met on one of the conferences. We had school, they had something, they met for this month.
Yeah, and I get the opposite feeling when I talk to Joe that he had nothing to do with it. So I don't know where the message is. I know, so right now, Minerva and Johnsburg was like 50-50 with sport. And adding a third school in, that's not defined as every sport. Then how do you fairly, that's just like, because it's like, okay, you're splitting 50-50, and then all of a sudden you're adding a third school that won't be a sport. And how do you fairly rotate who's doing what? I know right now, we have cross country in Nordic, that on certain weekends, North Warren does ask for to help out, but it's, when you're talking about a full season, like, especially active sports like soccer or tennis, they go everywhere. I don't know how that's going to work, especially driver-wise. I'm struggling right now just to cover the stuff we've got. And I know Minerva is North Warren in the same boat when it comes to covering stuff.
I think soccer would go and like the column at one point. So basically looking for something to be worked out, I don't know what that something is. But we did talk about, when we had that discussion, I don't know if you people, we talked about having like a week around the week of mandates and then one as a possible idea. We talked about modified being at Minerva and then one and we staying with you like two schools and Bryson staying with you North Warren, Johnford, and you guys feel here. So maybe limit some of the institutions, but that would all, it would also be a cross country and opportunity to kind of run one of those promotions and do them with NBA as well. So those are some different ideas that we have.
And I know internally we have also looked, we have asked guidance to create an activity period at the end of the day for 7th, 8th, and 9th. And I'll be honest, I'm not even sure how that will help. I just know that that was an issue in the past of kids leaving early.
I think that would help with if we had to do that once more and we could get this kid out of here earlier so that they're longer.
So the only thing with that is, so you're getting the kids out of here earlier, but now you're getting right into the dismissal time. And obviously, you get the kids home on more important than sports. You gotta get the regular kids home first. So I don't want to prioritize, obviously, if you have games and whatever, you're going varsity, but we gotta definitely prioritize getting students home for the sports. And there's going to be times when we don't have the driver to buy the sports funds. And it's still, I don't know how the sports funds are going to look. Because it just seems like it's all, okay, you got kids playing at that school, kids playing at this school, we gotta go there today. The timing is just really, really.
A lot of this problem is solved very easy. There is a turmoil in the bus crash. I don't know if any of the board members know it or not, but we are down drivers. And we've heard discussions about making rivers run. I don't care about that. I'm short-lived here, but if you want to keep transportation going here, you gotta start working with people. You expect them to come in and drive these trips. They gotta drive I drive 7 miles one way to come in. And you want me to come in and drive a trip because you made up this trip that needs to be taken? Well, that's fine, you make it up. But we don't sit here at this school all day long to not get paid for it. When you want us to get paid less than what a trip is taken to do, you gotta pay us. And you will get the driver, but you can't nickel and dime us. We may not be high educated, what you think, but we're professionals. We have worked hard to get our license. And as you know, it's not easy to get a driver's license as a CEO. You've got to take care of your workers, and your workers will help you. But that bus driver is such a turmoil over here because of the way we're being treated on our case. It's disgusting. It's not a good work zone. People are fighting and arguing all the time, and it can be very well solved just by sitting down, talking with them, and finding out we're trying to get $1 million rich. So we gotta survive too. And you can't nickel and dime us to death and expect us to help you out. It's just not gonna happen. And you can see how long you've been trying to get drivers. There's not drivers out there. You've got 4 drivers over there can leave any day. You know, you gotta start thinking of some of this stuff. And that will help on this merger stuff. If this is what we really want, I think we got too less kids to have too many sports. Maybe we gotta stop eliminating some of the sports so the kids will, you can't have 300 kids in school and have 18 different sports. You just can't supply it. Maybe we got too many of that. That sounds rough, but to merge with somebody else, so you get out, figured out how you're gonna drive it, it's not right.
So I'm hearing what you're saying, and I will agree that there is an issue. It has to do with numbers, it has to do with projections that we're looking at in the future. We have to come up with a solution. Eliminating, combining. Right now, in my opinion, when we're looking at the numbers, not just for next year, but for the years coming, where we're only decreasing in numbers, we either need to eliminate sports or we need to combine with another team. And to me, to eliminate sports and to not provide these opportunities for the kids is not a solution.
It's not good.
It's not a
And
good
it can
solution.
very easily be fixed. You just gotta take care of the ones that work for you.
And I think we're talking about is an issue that is related, but an issue, an aside issue also. Does that make sense? It does pertain to this,
It does pertain to this because it's traveling back and forth.
but it's
I mean,
also
it's
a
only
side
a 15
issue.
minute trip only. But we have to come in to take that 15 minutes. You can't expect us to do it for 15, 20 minutes. We've got to get paid what we're worth.
And I think that maybe, it's one of the things that, I think we need to start looking at combined bus routes. I think we need to, well, and that's fine, maybe that's the conclusion we come to, but I think we have to. No, listen, we're not going to,
That's our joke. Combining the bus runs.
Do you realize how many miles you're putting on a bus right now?
So let's,
Combining
I
bus
would like
routes.
to
Nice
focus
job.
on this
You know,
issue right here concerning this merger today, and then I think that we need to address buses.
Have you, anyone, not one of you, including you, Mike, has never been on a bus route to see what they are. We're driving on routes that are not fit to have buses on. And it's been brought up many times, the roads are not fit. And yet you want to add trips together. You're not, I don't know, you're gonna have to close the school down, or you're gonna have to get around. Because, and then you want to know what cost is, you start adding to these bus routes. And you can just write them off.
I don't think that was just a suggestion.
Well, I
I
would
hear it
not-
all the time.
Yeah.
It's spreading through his town
So
all the time.
I
So
said
don't say it's just,
Okay.
we need to sit down and look
you
at
have
the
no
issue.
clue.
And that you would be part of the conversation, Brandon would be part of the conversation. I'm saying we need to sit and look at what our solution is. I'm not saying that that is what the solution will be. I'm saying we have to look at the big picture. We have to look at what is best for our students and our community. And you guys in the bus garage are included in that picture.
We are not included. We have never been included. We are the bottom of the hole. And you can sit here and talk your stories, and you can want to say all you want. We are nothing to this school. You have proved it time and time again. We are the bottom. None of you would give up your life the way we give up our life and the money that we're being paid to drive any one of them trips. I guarantee you.
Okay, I need us to move on to the discussion on the merger. That is what we're here to talk about. We have 4 board members here. We are going to vote on this. Hold on, yes. No, there is a motion. We have heard, board members, are you satisfied with what you've heard? That you have all the information you need to make a good decision? Do you have any other questions?
I am a little concerned that our bus route isn't very clear on what's happening, and it was brought up that that was discussed. So,
Yeah.
how could we miss that?
In the AD meeting, we were told that the transportation have worked out that schedule.
So there's a motion forward. Mike, what if so North Warren and Minerva have approved this merger.
Yes.
What happens if we do not approve it
Then it doesn't move forward.
for all 3 of us? Or so it has to have all 3 approving it. Okay. So I don't see any other option but to go ahead because this decision needs to be made. We've been talking about it for about 3 meetings, 3 months now. It's been in discussion. We cannot put it off any longer because there is a deadline. I heard March 8th. I don't know if that's the deadline.
I know it's
Maybe it's
next week.
next week. I think that we are in a position where we have to gather all the information that we can. We have to make a decision today. We cannot put it off. So I'm going to put out motion to approve the merger with North Warren Central School for girls modified and girls varsity soccer for the 2025-2026 school year.
Aye.
So you have a motion, Tom?
Yeah.
Okay. Second, anyone? No second? What's that?
Then it doesn't move
Okay,
forward.
then it does not move forward. All right. So we have no other business.
It's not that I'm not for the merger with North Warren, I am, but transportation obviously has to be solved, and I know we talked about an issue with parental driving and combining kids and going over. Is that
For games, after games.
correct? Correct. But even if that was a solution, but It doesn't matter, the solution is in person today, so that's what I'm voting no.
I think it's a no. I feel like the biggest concern is transportation. Is really, They're not needed.
All right, do we have any other business? All right, zero comments. Okay, upcoming date, March 17th, is our next board of education meeting. Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Motion by Tom.
To the executive session.
Yeah, yeah, so I'm sorry, motion to adjourn to, executive session. And we're going to meet down, who has it?
Motion.
May second. Second, all right. All in favor?
Aye.
And we will, yeah, Mike's office.
Yeah.